Hey everyone, it's Christine and welcome back to Paranormal TV. I am so sorry if you hear a lot of wind, but it is so windy out today. It's really bad and I'm by the window, so. Today I am doing a collab with Jessica Watts. Her channel is linked down below and she is so close to 100 subscribers, so you guys should go check her out and subscribe because she's really nice and she has some really interesting paranormal stories. Sorry I'm not like situated. Her videos are really like chill and it feels like a friend is talking to you, which I really like. I really enjoy those types of videos. I think that they're a lot of fun to watch and it's easy to connect with the person. So we are doing a tag that we made up and there are not enough paranormal tags out there, so I was pretty excited to come up with this one. Jessica actually approached me about doing a collab and called it the Paranormal Questionnaire tag. I came up with the first 5 questions. She came up with the questions 6 to 10 in case you're wondering. So the first question is, have you always believed in the paranormal? And yes, I have always believed in the paranormal since I've been really young. I don't have an exact date for you guys, but when I was quite young, I felt very connected to my religion. I still feel very connected to my religion, but when I was really young, I felt very connected to my religion. I felt like there was for sure a spiritual side of things. I'm Lutheran, so I believe in the afterlife, and that was a big part of me believing in the paranormal. I know some Christians do not believe that spirits stay here on earth. Some Christians believe that they only go to heaven or hell. Some Christians believe that spirits go to purgatory first and then they move on. Some Christians believe in the rapture, and so Christianity can be like very questionable, like very like what do you believe in when you're a Christian can be really up in the air for certain people, but I do believe it's a huge possibility that spirits are here still. I can connect with a human spirit. Some people believe it's only demonic. Yeah, I also think that a big play in my love for paranormal is growing up with a bunch of paranormal shows. I loved Are You Afraid of the Dark? So Weird, Goosebumps, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. Unsolved Mysteries had ghost stories on there as well. Does your belief go beyond spirits such as aliens, shadow people, black-eyed kids, etc.? Kind of. I believe that a lot of things are possible. I believe that shadow people are spirits, actually. I know some people believe they're a thing of itself. Other people believe that they're demonic. I believe that they're spirits, and I believe that if you are a bad person in life, you're not going to be a very good spirit. So, like Ted Bundy, for example. I don't know why he's the first person that came to mind. Ted Bundy, I don't feel like would be a positive spirit. So I feel like you could be interacting with a human spirit and they just be negative. That's why I feel like some people had negative experiences with shadow people and some people have positive or just okay experiences with shadow people. Nothing bad happens. I feel like they could be demonic. I mean, I really don't know. I do not know the answers, but I feel like they are definitely spirits. As far as other things go, I think a lot of stuff is possible, but I am somebody who needs a lot of proof, so before I'm like full-heartedly believing in something, I need a lot of proof. I think that a lot of things are possible, but I can't say for sure. Are you skeptical of your own experiences? I definitely can be. I'm taking my hat off, guys. I'm having a bad hair day. I'm naturally inquisitive, so it's already in me to question things. I overthink everything. So that's just how I am naturally, but when I'm investigating, I'm definitely a little bit more skeptical at times because I want to explore the options, because 9 times out of 10 I'm outside investigating. I'm in, like, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to be in a graveyard. So if I'm in a graveyard, anybody can come into that graveyard. So I always have that thought in my head that it could be a person. There's no logical explanation. I'm more inclined to believe the experience. So for me, it's like all about getting it right, making sure it is paranormal, especially since I'm going to be talking about it here. I don't want to give you false information. What's your most memorable experience? So whenever this question comes up, I'm like, oh, it's, you know, when I was working, I saw a ghost in the mirror, blah, blah, blah. I want to say something different, so I'm going to go with probably my second most memorable experience. I did a video on it. I think I titled it "A Ghost Got into Bed with Me" or something like that. It was really creepy. So I was in bed, but I wasn't asleep. I was just getting into bed. You know, lights were off. I was just getting ready to go to bed. And my dog started to like growl at something, and then I felt, and it's very weird, but I felt like somebody sat on the foot of my bed it felt like a substantial amount of weight pressed down on my bed, making an impression, because it went down. You felt it go down, and I got so nervous. Like, my heart went into my stomach. I was freaking out. And then when that happened, Lacey sat up and she started to growl more, like, viciously, and she was really nervous, and her being really nervous made me a little more nervous, and I prayed and it went away. Have you ever had a paranormal experience that felt threatening, and what was your reaction? Yes, I did, and it was pretty recent. I'm gonna play a clip for you guys. Are you in heaven? Yeah, I heard. Are you good or bad? Are you good?
Did you just hear your friend is in danger?
No, I didn't know what he was saying. I heard voices.
Well, that's what I heard.
Can we leave here? Now I'm getting nervous. So this was during an investigation at spirit box sessions that I had. Oh my gosh, they were so creepy. I mean, you heard "Get You, Christine," and that really freaked me out. But I thought, okay, maybe there's a coincidence going on here, and I kept going. And later on that night, I got what felt like even more threatening messages coming from the spirit box. You know, I got, when I asked, "Are you in heaven?" it said, "Yes, you're next." That scared me. And then it said, "Your friend is in danger," and that freaked me out even more. And my reaction was to leave. I didn't leave the full graveyard, but I left that part of the graveyard because I'm thinking about doing a video where I explain, like, my experience a little more, because I didn't do a recap on this episode because I was pretty sick when I uploaded it. But I was thinking about doing a video where I explain more about what was going on that night. But just to give you a little brief overview, we would go to one part of the graveyard and it would feel like, it wouldn't feel good to be there. It would feel like you had this nervous feeling, or it felt like you were unwanted there. We would go to another part of the graveyard. It felt very welcoming. We got good responses on the spirit box and we had good interaction. Then you go to another part and it would feel really threatening. So it was very interesting how it seemed like each grave was different. Like, different energies at each part of the graveyard. It's very, very interesting. Do you prefer to investigate alone or in a group, and what tools and apps do you use? So I prefer to investigate with at least one other person. I like to be small groups, so probably no more than 3 people I want to investigate with, maybe 4. But definitely with at least one other person, because there are safety in numbers, and I'm not talking about the ghosts, I'm talking about people. Like I said before, I investigate a lot in graveyards, so I don't want to be outside by myself at night, especially in graveyards, because I've known some people who have had really terrible things happen just walking by graveyards. You know, sometimes it's a little bit of an iffy situation, so you want to make sure that there is someone there with you, in my opinion. You never know who's going to be walking by, who's going to be in the neighborhood. You want to make sure you're okay. And in my one video where I talked about what I bring when I go on investigations, I actually bring mace with me and I carry it in my hand when I'm investigating, just in case I need to use it. I love EVPs, so recorder, completely need a recorder, need a camera. I have a spirit box app that I actually really like. It's called the SPX 10, I think? It's 10 or 12. 12. The SPX 12, I believe it's called. I really like that one. I'm going to do a review on it. An EMF detector. I really want a thermal camera, but I cannot afford one. It's way out of my budget. But I would love to have a thermal camera. Any paranormal experience with animals or spiritual animals? Yes. Like I said with Lacey about that ghost in the bed situation. And then I had a dog named Annie when I was younger, and Annie would bark at the wall. Like nothing was there. It didn't appear to be any sounds, but we lived in a house that we thought might have been haunted, so that was interesting. And then I did a whole video about spirit animals before, and I had some experiences. I also talked about other people's experiences, but I did have a few experiences, and I always like to think that those experiences are, sorry, that's my dog. But I always like to think that those experiences are past pets, you know, coming to visit, because that's very comforting. But one in particular, I was in the bath and I was taking a bath. I remember this day because my back hurt so bad, and so I went to take a hot bath because it relaxes your muscles, and I had my curtain pulled, and there was no window in my bathroom at this time. It's not this house, it was a different house I lived in, and it was a very small bathroom. Ginger, my pit bull, she hates the bathroom. She will not walk into the bathroom. And I didn't have Lacey at the time. Lacey wasn't even born at this time. I had lost Anya at this point, who was my boxer before Lacey, and she was my best friend. We were so close. And her and Ginger were similar sizes, and I saw a shadow about her or Ginger's size walk by, and I was like, Ginger's in the bathroom? So I pulled back the curtain, because that's like a complete disbelief, because Ginger hates the bathroom. And nothing was there. So I like to think that that was Anya. Any psychic abilities, and do you do anything to develop them? I feel very intuitive. I wouldn't say psychic, medium, sensitive, or anything like that. I just feel very intuitive. I always trust my intuition. And sometimes I feel like something, it's almost like something tells me things, which sounds so weird. I don't even know how to word that. That sounds so odd. But I'll give you an example. Okay, so one time I was out with my cousin, and I would leave pretty late. Like, I would go home at like 2 o'clock in the morning. We would just hang out all the time. And Lacey, don't lick your butt. I think you're on camera. It was pretty early. It was like 9 o'clock. And I just had this horrible feeling that something was going to happen and that I should leave. So I told her, you know, I'm going to go home. I'm tired. I didn't want her to worry because she worries over everything. So I went home, and I heard this car behind me. I was like, this is what I needed to look out for. So weird, right? I did follow me home. He tried to get me to go in his car, and he wouldn't leave me alone, kept basically following me. So I stayed on the streets that were a little bit busier until I had to turn down a side street, and then I was trying to call people. Nobody was answering their phone, so I spoke to a voicemail. I was like, hey, I'm at your house, come out. And then he drove away, and I ran home so fast. So, like, that's just an example of how I just get these feelings, and I like to go with them, because if I feel like something bad's going to happen, I feel like I should just trust my instincts. So I just feel intuitive, I guess. But I don't do anything to develop them. I make physical attacks, bruises, or scratches. I can't say like I've ever gotten a bruise from a ghost or a scratch from a ghost. I have Evans syndrome, and bruising is like one of my main symptoms, and I bruise all the time. Massive bruises from like little bumps. You're like, how did you get that bruise from like grazing the wall like you did? I mean, they pop up out of nowhere. I literally just get massive bruises from just like kind of bumping into things that I don't even realize I bumped into. So I can never like pinpoint a bruise to a paranormal experience. Even if I had a bruise from paranormal experience, I wouldn't have known that that's what it was from. During my last investigation, I did get dizzy spells, and I had burning in my throat, and that was during a period of time where I felt like it was kind of negative. Was that paranormal? I can't say, but kind of coincidental. I mean, I don't know. The last question is, are you afraid of the dark? And no, I love the dark. Actually, I find it relaxing. I can't have it too dark all the time though, because I am blind, child. Like, I cannot see in the dark. I find the dark to be relaxing. I like the night. I like to go for long walks in the summer at night. I just like the dark. I know some people really, really hate it. My sister is terrified of the dark. But I've never been afraid of the dark. Not even when I was little. I was one of like the few kids who wasn't afraid of the dark, who actually preferred the dark. So I know it's kind of weird, but thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Jessica, for collabing with me. I will have the questions down below if you guys want to do it, and let me know if you guys choose to do this tag, because I'll watch it, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.